His entire life's mission isn't just to conquer death, but to control life itself, create it even. He believes that midichlorians, the microscopic entities responsible for communicating with the Force, can be manipulated to create life from nothing. Throughout the novel, Plagueis conducts experiments very dark and very unnatural. In fact, they almost defy belief. His ultimate goal is to force the midichlorians to spontaneously create a being of pure Force potential. And here's the crazy part, that he actually succeeds in manipulating midichlorians on a deep level, triggering unprecedented disturbances in the Force itself. Well, kind of. Here's an excerpt straight from the novel that clearly hints at Plagueis' success. The Force had struck back against Plagueis and his apprentice, conceiving a child who would bring about the ultimate defeat of the Sith. So in a way, the Force did create Anakin through answering back to Plagueis' manipulations of the midichlorians, by essentially saying, look, we don't like what you're doing. You cannot manipulate the Force. You cannot manipulate midichlorians. So we're going to create the perfect Force being that will defeat the Sith and bring balance to the Force. So let's think about this for a second. The Force itself reacted violently against Plagueis' meddling. If Plagueis hadn't meddled, would Anakin be born? I don't think he would. Now, Lucino makes it clear that Anakin's conception wasn't random. It wasn't destiny acting alone. It was essentially the Force's countermeasure to Plagueis' unnatural experiments. Let me say that again. It was the Force's countermeasure to Plagueis manipulating the Force. Plagueis and Palpatine had unintentionally triggered the Force, literally triggered them to create a powerful being, someone capable of restoring balance. But here's where things get even darker and more interesting in the book. Palpatine himself later acknowledges the possibility that Anakin Skywalker is indirectly their creation, a product of their dark side experiments. Could it be possible that the Force had struck back against them, creating a being of its own design? Palpatine is reflecting here, openly admitting that Anakin's existence could directly be linked to their own actions. This aligns chillingly with Episode 3, where Palpatine is suggesting to Anakin that Darth Plagueis had the power to create life, subtly hinting that Anakin might owe his very existence to Sith meddling, which is funny because there was actually a part in the script for Revenge of the Sith, but George decided to cut it out, where Palpatine says, so you can basically call me your father, because he starts to talk about how they manipulated the Force, him and Plagueis, and how he created Anakin.